Now, let's do it with this camera. This is the top part of Coastie. The Coast Guard, this belongs to the Coast Guard, but it's in trust to the auxiliary. Now, with this, I got to hook up that ground wire. I guess I can do that while I'm sitting here talking with you. So let's move this and flip this over for a second. Okay. This wire has to get hooked up. If I can remember where the hell it goes. Actually, yeah, let me hook it up. Okay, let me get a little piece of black wire. Black wire, black wire. This looks like a piece of coax, and it is, so I'm not going to use that one. There, the piece, will this piece be long enough? If not, this one will be. So why screw around? Let's just go with the one we know will work. Okay. Let's get a connector. I want a red one. Oh, we're not going to have reds, or are we? Got a couple left. Yeah, let me use them. I'd rather have the red one. Now, where's my crimper? Crimper! There's my cutter, but where's my crimper? That's what I want to know. Crimper. Hey, self, open your eyes. Okay. I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing it. Okay, so let's stick this in here, like so. Give it a crimp. Let's stick this one in here, like so. Give it a crimp. Yeah, the Coast Guard, I don't know, these are something like $12,000 a piece. However, this one's, I think it's the last one that they own. And they wanted to know if I was able to do something with it. Well, you know, I can try. Try. So, that's what I'm doing. So what happens, originally, I was told that, and there was a couple of people there, so I don't know which one actually said it. I'm not positive. I think I know, but I'm not sure. But they said, buy whatever you need. Well, to me, okay, they gave me no, they didn't. I was going to say they gave me the phone number to the company, but they didn't. I found that in some stuff that they had laying around. But meanwhile, after they said that, and after I agreed, I get a phone call saying, don't do anything to Coastie. There's no budget. Meaning this robot. It's called Coastie, by the way. There's no budget. There's no budget for Coastie. So now, I have this thing sitting here, all of it, not just this part, but I have all of it sitting here. I've got it pulled apart, and I'm there, okay, well now I can just, you know, well, it needs this board, it needs that board, it needs this, it needs that. I mean, this thing was really, the receive and transmit crystals that were in it were rotted right through. There was holes rusted right through the crystals. The switches, there were just rusted out. It didn't even look like a switch. There was burnt diodes, capacitors on the main board. You know, but, well, okay, I just got to call up an order. You know, not a big deal. Yeah, until I find out, well, it is a big deal, because I get a call saying, do nothing with Coastie. There's no budget. There's no budget. Coastie hasn't got a budget. Well, that kind of El Suckos. Because now what? Well, I figured, well, you know, if I can just, instead of replacing the boards, just fix the boards. You know, fix what's here. Because a part, you know, here and there, I need it. You know, what's a capacitor, a diode, a resistor, an IC, whatever. You know, what am I going to spend? $10 or $15 in parts? The crystals, however, could have cost up to $20 a piece, so that could be another story. But meanwhile, I'm thinking, well, I'm just going to continue to work on it, just to get an idea what the hell it's going to do or not do. So that's what I decided to do. So, anyway, that was before I found out that there was no budget. Hold on a minute, guys. I'm using the wrong tool here. So, anyway, as I was saying, I get the call, do nothing, there's no budget. And that's when I decided, well, if it's going to sit here, apparently nobody knows what I'm going to do with it, and I got it sitting here. So now what, you know? Put it back on the trailer, bring it down to the station? I don't know. You know, all I know is I got something taking up a lot of room. Because I had two parts. The top part, which I have here, and the bottom part, which I no longer have. That whole bench over there was taken up with parts, and this whole bench over here was taken up with parts. Oh, and where it's at now was also taken up with parts. So needless to say, this whole back room is basically all Coastie parts. And no money to fix anything, no budget. So it's sat here. I putzed around with it a little bit, but for the most part it's sat here for 4 or 5 months, 6 months. And then they were going to have an open house or something, so I get a call like 2 weeks before, 7 days even. I don't even think it was 2 weeks. I get a call stating that you got a $250 budget. Huh, Nick? Yeah. Can you get her, at least get her camera ready? Well, what they meant by that was the whole bottom half was like it was in a hit and run accident with a freight train. I mean, it was in bad shape. No doubt about it. The fiberglass was cracked. There were pieces missing. You know, I mean, it was a nightmare. So I said, yeah. I says, but, you know, when I start buying top coat, you know, and seeing that this thing is going to be near the water, you know, it's going to have a paint on it that's going to hold up to that kind of abuse. Let me put some water in this. I want to make sure it doesn't leak. Yeah, well, I'm glad I filled it up first, because we do have a leak. All right. Good. I can fix that. So anyhow, it took me between the fiberglass, because I didn't want to use just Bondo because you needed some type of structure. So between the fiberglass, the holes that had to be repaired with the fiberglass, the painting, the sanding, I mean everything that I had to go through, I spent close to $200 just on that kind of stuff. Now, I did have it so that it moved a little bit, because that was another thing. It didn't want to move because the wheels were totally worn down. So the drive wheels weren't hitting the ground. So those had to be replaced, but that's not going to happen because the factory wanted $130 a piece for the wheel, per wheel. And they needed 2 of them. There's no budget for that. Even if the $250 was the budget, it wasn't going to help. So I was able to get the voice changer module working. And what else? There was something else. I forgot. Anyway, I made it through open house. I get a call that the voice module stopped working. Oh yeah, okay. One thing after another. All right, let me see something here. So anyway, here's what I had to do. It had servos. Servos are touchy. They work on a different voltage and relays and 5 volts and, because they boom, 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 that type of thing. Because this has eyes. Well, the servos are touchy, like I said. One of them blew. So it means we only have one left. And the company wanted something like $35 a servo. Well, we had one left. So what I did was I bolted the 2 eyes together. And then we started putting together. I had Ray give me a hand. I put together a voltage control module that would hook up to the piece that he put together for the servos to work with the proper voltage, the timer, and all that kind of stuff. So it was working. Well, it stopped working. I said, okay, so I said, I'm going to change this around completely. I'm going to do away with the servos. I'm done. I'm done dealing with these things. After a while you start thinking, like, who's operating these things? Are they certified? Do they know anything about it? It's not a toy, you really start thinking. So anyway, here's what I did. I took a 5 revolution per minute motor, 12 volt. I figured out the throw on the eyes. I made this round plate and I put different holes in it in different places with the rod, so that if it's too much, too little, I can adjust the rod into a different hole. So now it works off of 12 volt. Bingo, done. All right, don't have to deal with servos or anything anymore. So now I think, let me see, now we have the lights working. We have the green one, there's a red one down there, there's a white one up on top that you're not seeing. Turn that one off. Now we have the yellow strobe, and that's working. Then I have the squirter, which I'm not going to operate right now because it throws water up in the air. All right. Then we have, where the hell is it? The eyes light up. Well, you're not seeing those, but let me get around over here. I got lights that I put inside the eyes, so now the eyes light up. So we got that done. Now, and then I got the searchlight hooked up and working. There's also a meter down there that shows the voltage on the battery. And there's a meter, like I said. So that meter, you turn it on and it stays on. Well, why do we need a meter going? All right, we don't need the meter going until we know what the voltage is. So if it starts looking low, we check it. So I put a button up here. It's a momentary button. You push the button the meter shows what you got. You let go of the button, it shuts off. So we got all that done. Then I said I made this little servo replacement with a 5 revolutions per minute, and right. So now that turns. It'll turn 5 times a minute, and the eyes will go up and down. Up and down, up and down. That works off at 12 volts. We don't have to worry about anything breaking, busting, or anything like that. All right, you want to close them. You hit when they're down. You hit the button, turn them off. You want them open. When they're open, you hit the button. You turn them off. So it's finally done. So the only thing I need to do now is work on the module for the voice. They're supposed to be bringing me the headset for it. Let me turn this right back up again. So I can't do anything until I get that. Once I get that, I can put this thing back on the bottom part, bring it back down to sector, and let them have at it and do whatever it is they want to do with it. So that's where we're at.